Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly webinar of the series Conversations with Mexicans in New England. This series is organized with the help of our wide network of Mexican scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, researchers, and educators living in New England to help us bring awareness to the important contributions of our community here. Today we have the fantastic collaboration of Marco M. Muñoz, Senior Director for Strategic Initiatives at the Office of the Chairman of MIT. Marco, thank you so much for giving us the pleasure of having you here in this program.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure and my honor to be in this program with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Marco has, for more than 20 years, been building and creating teams and initiatives to advance social and philanthropic purposes in private and public institutions, including academic and governmental institutions. At MIT, his primary responsibility is building support and connections around the world that help promote the Institute's global interests, working with strategic partners who share MIT's goal of solving some of the world's greatest challenges. And this is written by Marco himself. So Marco, tell us about you and your background. How, after being at the University of Texas, what made you, or how did you get here to MIT?
Yeah, and I thought maybe I should talk before Texas, because I was born in a cattle ranch in Veracruz, Mexico. Mm-hmm. And my first goal in life was to become a veterinarian, because I used to go and help with the farmers, especially the people that were milking the cows, and I really loved the life in the countryside. But lately in my life, I became a lawyer and went to the UNAM, the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico, and then to Texas as in the Innovation and Creativity Center in Texas, in UT Austin. But when I was in UT Austin, I was working mainly how to bring ideas into market and how to create value through innovation. And I got an invitation from MIT to come to MIT and working in a new project that MIT was developing to bring together the whole university to collaborate more actively with Latin America and Europe. And my first reaction when I got an invitation from MIT was, no, it's too cold for me. Boston is too cold. I love biking. I love to be outside. And the only thing I remember of the northeast of the US and Canada was the cold weather. And my initial reaction when I got the invitation from MIT to come to Boston was, no way, it's too cold. But then I learned more about MIT. I learned that MIT was actually a university, an American university made to help the world to solve some of their greatest challenges. And when I saw that this university was focusing in helping others more than helping itself, it's when I decided that this was a great opportunity for me to come to MIT. And it was a story that I don't know if we have time to talk, but when I got the letter of with an offer, financial offer, and economical, and the job offer to come to Boston, my reaction is still at that moment when I got the letter, it was like, I don't think I should go to Boston. But what I did, I went to talk to my boss. I had a fantastic relation with my boss that was the vice president for research in UT Austin. Actually a fantastic physicist from Argentina that he got his PhD in Stanford. And I went to talk to him. His name is Juan Sanchez. And I said, Juan, you know, I got this letter from MIT. And I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do? And Juan read the letter and looked at me and he said, Marco, do you want more money? And I said, no, I don't want more money. I want to know, what do you think? Do you think I should go or not to MIT? And he said, don't go to MIT. Where are you going to MIT? Here in UT Austin, you are doing great. We like you here. You like us. I don't know why you are going there. And I told him, yeah, that is what I was thinking. Maybe I should stay here in Texas. And I can keep coming to the university by my bike, and I like Austin. And then he looked at me and he said, Marco, but I'm your boss, but I'm also your friend. As a friend, I cannot tell you what to do because friends don't tell friends what to do. Friends give you stories or information, and then you take the best decision for yourself. And I told Juan, okay, give me your story, tell me. And he said, you know, when the Wright brothers started inventing the airplane, everyone in the world started thinking about the airplane, how to make better fuselages, better engines, better tires, better technology, better communication systems. But just one university, the world created an aerospace department, and then they sent them into the moon. And that university is MIT, because when we all were looking at the sky, MIT was already looking at the space. And that university is 20 years ahead of us. And then I opened my eyes like that, and he looked at me and he said, but don't go, it's too cold for you, and you won't be able to ride your bike. But that was the reason why I came to Boston and to MIT.
And it's not true that you cannot ride your bike. You can ride your bike, maybe just, you cannot do it at least for 4 months, but the rest of the time it's splendid. And being where you are at MIT, you can do the river up and down, and it's fantastic.
Yes, actually, I learned that the first year was very tough, Alberto, because I didn't know if with the cold weather I was going to lose my toes or my nose, and I did a lot of research, and then I learned that people are still riding all winter long.
Yeah.
And the only thing I did, I invested in more socks and more clothes, and then I follow an advice from a friend from Spain that told me it's not cold, it's just lack of clothing. If you put enough clothing, you're not going to feel the cold. And yes, I look a little bit like an astronaut when I'm riding my bike in the winter, but yes, I'm riding on the winter now.
Great. So Marco, tell us 2 things. What does it mean being the Senior Director for Strategic Initiatives? And what does your t-shirt mean?
T-shirt. Yeah, my t-shirt is very easy. I think many people already read that, but be the Senior Director of Strategic Initiative at the Office of the Chairman of the Board is it's a great privilege, and it is like, for me, it's like being in Disneyland if I were younger. Like, you see so many things at the same time. You meet so many people, all the students, especially amazing young students from all over the world, trying to solve problems, to identify issues and then solve problems, and working with the faculty and the president. I really like MIT President Rafael Reif, that is also it's a Latin American. He was born in Venezuela, and he's so committed to solve the biggest problems of the world. And the chairman, Robert Millar, is a fantastic boss and friend. And it is challenging because what we are trying to do in the office is to identify some of the biggest problems in the world and then try to match those problems with research that MIT is doing already. Like we are working a lot in problems connected to health right now, because health is one of the priorities for everyone. We understand now that we are more vulnerable than ever with the COVID-19. And some of the projects we are working is trying to identify what is happening in MIT in different areas, from artificial intelligence to biology to chemistry, etc., and try to bring those advances to partnership with the industry and with the governments, and try to deploy those solutions into around the world. And one example interesting is like the Moderna, that is a company that has been in many news outlets about the vaccine. It's a company that actually the founder is a professor from MIT, Professor Bob Langer, that has more than 1,000 patents himself, and was thinking about creating these vaccines in a faster way before COVID. And the collaboration between MIT and Moderna is pretty intense through the Bob Langer laboratory, that is one of the founders. But other issues are like tracking people with COVID. Like, we have several people working in those technologies with trying to protect, especially privacy of the people. That is fundamental for us. And we have been developing this testing equipment, many things that we have been developing in the health, but also in the space, in aerospace. We have been working in new materials. we're working in many issues, especially now climate change that is becoming more and more important for everyone, because we are living a crisis right now in the world that is connected to the human health. But the problem with climate change is that it's going to impact not just the human health, but it's going to impact the health of the planet. And if the planet gets sick, it's more difficult to cure than the humans. And the planet is in a big stress right now because the global warming. And those projects are projects that are priority of the board of the MIT, because and the priorities of the president and the board work together very closely. And I'm part of that, a little bit of that mechanism of identifying projects, identifying needs, trying to solve the problems, and bring partners from all around the world. Like we also recognize that as an education institution, we are very small. We just have 11,000 students, 1,000 professors, and everything we do, we cannot do it without collaboration with other people and other countries and other companies. And now, what is this? This teacher said, he said that I ate my pie. I ate my pie, and it's pretty easy because it's I ate is 2 and at the cubic and and M and pie. And yes, and the pie I ate, I had a bite in the pie there. Yes, it's pretty. That's easy.
Thank you. And tell me of all the projects that you've worked on during these last years. Do you have a pet one? I remember when I visited you, you walked me to the brain center, or the Center for Research of Brain. Is there a specific pet project that you were part of since the beginning and that you've seen it grow and is your favorite?
Yeah, yes, I have several favorites, but I have one that is very important for me because it was the first project I did with Mexico to help Mexico. We did it in a partnership with the Tecnológico de Monterrey. We did TESEM, and it's about advancing nanotechnology in Mexico, because we believe that the future is going to be, especially manufacture, all the manufacturing is going to be nanotechnology. Because now that we can manipulate the matter in a nanoscale, in a billionth of a meter, we can create things that we didn't knew we were able to create. And that is a project that is very, very, very important for me because the connection with Mexico and the impact that it's going to have, that is having already in education in nanotechnology, and the impact that it's going to have in the future for Mexico to become more competitive around the world with nanotechnology. But the one that is more into my emotional heart is the one in the brain, because MIT, as maybe not many people know, but MIT doesn't have a school of medicine, and I have been talking about vaccines and tests for COVID and all that, and the brain that you mentioned, and but we have the center of maybe the largest facility in the world working in trying to solve the problems, or the not the problems, but the complications of the brain, that is the most amazing part of the human body. And my favorite project is a project that we did to develop a center for Down syndrome in MIT. And it is important because Down syndrome has several implications that many people don't know. Like children with Down syndrome usually develop leukemia, but they resist leukemia. That means that we can learn from them, and we can try to bring their strength in leukemia fighting to the benefit of people without Down syndrome. The other thing that is important is that people with Down syndrome are very sensitive. They are very, very incredible people, very caring people, but they have a problem when they are becoming around 18, 19 years old. They have a high probability to develop Alzheimer. And if we can learn how to prevent the development of Alzheimer in Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome, we can maybe prevent the development of Alzheimer for everyone. And that's why for me, the center is very important also, because it was created with the help of a family from Brazil that I really appreciate. I love this family because their commitment to help others and to make the world better. And that's, for me, is maybe the most important component. The other thing that is important is, thank you to this center, we are developing, we're advancing a lot of technologies to prevent Alzheimer and maybe cure Alzheimer through light and sound without any, you don't need to take any medicine. We're also working a lot in creating tools, technological tools for mobility, for people with some cognitive problems to be able to be more independent. Like some people that have some cognitive problems cannot manage like an account in a bank or balance their account or even move from one place to another without some support. And we are developing some technologies that help with mobility that is not going to help people with Down syndrome, but it's going to help people maybe with cerebral palsy or maybe with some other motor problems. And that center for me is the most, it's maybe the one that I feel more proud to be part of that, helping that. And because the faculty that is involved are fantastic. We have the Professor Lee Wei-Tsai, that is, for me, one of the best, the top scientists in the world fighting Alzheimer's for many years. We have professors like Ed Boyden that is developed optogenetics and is doing a fantastic research in analyzing tissues and matter from the very small scale to the making it bigger scale to be able to see better in a microscope. We have Angelica Amon that is working in chromosome instability, that is part of the lack of the chromosome problem with the Down syndrome, so that can be applied to many other people. That's a fantastic program for me. And I love other programs that, other strategic initiatives like the satellite, the nano satellite initiative that you have a Mexican professor that is leading the propulsion lab, the space propulsion lab satellite in MIT, Paulo Lozano, that is a great friend and a very good cyclist too, and a runner, and he developed the smallest engine available in the world for satellite propulsion. And that's another project important for me because if we are able to deploy all this technology, we will be able to have internet for free for everyone in the world, and then we can try to reduce these gaps between people that have access to technology and people that do not have access to technology. I don't know if I talked too much, Alberto, I'm sorry.
No. It's fascinating. And I remember the first time I met with you that you told me and you gave me the booklet of facts of MIT. And I was impressed to see what you mentioned, what a small institution in terms of students and professors, but what a huge institution it is in terms of innovation. Since then, I've had the chance to meeting several academics or students of yours that they have told us, well, I was studying and I had this idea and I came and I proposed it, and then there was support and they became companies. That is something really incredible, how you can be a research and university institution, but at the same time so close to entrepreneurship, and you really foster it. So congratulations. It's very interesting. So tell us, how can international institutions or universities create partnerships with MIT? I know you have offices in several countries. You have one in Mexico, and I suppose that part of the partnerships come from those offices. But what would you say about how can these partnerships happen?
Yeah, we actually don't have any MIT campus outside Cambridge, outside Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and but we have groups of former students, alums, that actually have we have a very active club in Mexico City that is helping, and we have a Latin American office that is actually coordinating most of our efforts in Latin America. in Santiago de Chile, in South America. But most of the partnerships came through institutions coming and visiting MIT. We have our doors open 24 hours every day, 365 days a year. And usually, right now, we have them open, but you cannot come in because they COVID. But usually what happens is that people come visit us and or they research, they try to, they are curious about some of our research, and then they contact us and we develop some strategies. We have a strategic program for international, for MIT. And for us, Asia is fundamental, it's very important, but also Latin America. Latin America is really, really important because we have great partners already there in Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Peru, Argentina. We have fantastic students coming from all over the world. But the easiest way to do the partnership is through a program that we developed several years ago. We have 30 programs specific by country. That is called MISTI, the MIT International Science and Technology Initiative, MISTI. And MISTI, we have a MISTI Mexico, we have a MISTI Brazil, like MISTI France, MISTI Germany, MISTI Japan. And these programs are very, very good to actually start a collaboration with MIT, because the program includes 4 components, fundamentally 4 components. The first one is internships. We send students to do internships or professional practices in different industries around the world. And if you come from Mexico or other parts of the world and you want a student from MIT to come to your company or to your industry or to your business or your university to do an internship, we can send to them that is not from your country that you want the support, but is from another country, but is going to speak and understand the culture of the country. Because for us, it's very important that our students understand the culture of different countries, not just America or their own country. And that's the first component of MISTI. The second component is, we call it the Global Seed Fund Project for research. And what we do, we have some funding available to that usually this institution from outside MIT is coming and putting into MIT to develop research between his country, region, or institution and MIT in collaboration with MIT in a very seed funding level, very small funding, but helps to create a connection between the faculty, the researchers of the country or the region and MIT, and has a very important component of student exchange. And we have another one to create companies, a startup lab, we call it, and another one that is called the Global Teaching Lab that we send students to teach in different high schools around the world. And this is I think that's the best way to come into MIT and start developing a collaboration. And the only way to do a good collaboration is to learning about each other. The more that we know from each other, the better the collaboration is going to be. And then start looking for a big project. Don't come to MIT just to do an exchange of students or faculty or a visiting program. Come to MIT to try to do something amazing that many people think is not easy, and some people believe it's impossible. And then we try it. Because like you have heard from the students directly and from other people in MIT, Alberto, if you come with a very, very crazy idea to MIT, we are very curious about it. We are, the only thing that they have teach us since the very beginning is no wrong question, no stupid questions, and everything could be possible if you are able to think about it. That means that if an institution from Latin America or other parts of the world wants to do something big, like saving the planet, come to MIT and talk to us, and maybe we can work together in doing it. We know that we cannot do it by ourselves. We need partners.
Great. Now tell us, I know that there's a big, also a very important project that MIT is leading in terms of artificial intelligence. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, MIT decided to make a big investment. We invested, we were committed to invest $1 billion into changing the educational system in MIT. We call it the College of Computing. That means that the idea that the president had is we should create a bilingual system, bilingual educational system. And when I talk about bilingual, it's not Spanish and English or Portuguese or English or French or German and English. It's about the physical language and the digital language, because the future of humanity is very digital, but with a very strong component of humanities. And the project of MIT is called the College of Computing, that includes several components, include the quest for intelligence. Like, first, we don't understand really what intelligence is. Sometimes we talk about artificial intelligence, but we don't understand fully how human intelligence works, and we are creating artificial intelligence. Then we created this initiative that is the quest for intelligence, try to find what intelligence means. And from there, we develop another initiative that is the Yale Clinic. How can we use artificial intelligence to help people with health issues, and another initiative through artificial intelligence. The first thing that we need to take into consideration is that this educational system that we are living now around the world is not the system that is going to take us to the future. The system needs to be completely bilingual. The physical and digital are completely immersed. And this is something that MIT saw 30 years ago when it created the Media Lab. The Media Lab was created 35 years ago because we were thinking about that the physical and digital world in one point were going to converge. And now is the time, and now we see it with this crisis. Now you and I, and many people I don't know, are listening to us, and you and I are talking in a completely digital environment. And this is just the beginning of the explosion of the digital world. The biggest challenge for us, for you, for me, and for everyone, and for the educational institution is how can we do this program with a very heavy component of humanities involved. That's why when we talk about the quest for intelligence, when we talk about the College of Computing, when we talk about bilingual education, that means that bilingual education is not just to learn computer science and artificial intelligence, it's to learn linguistics, history, sociology, psychology, humanities, in the arts, in the most profound way possible, because at the end, the machines and the digital world should help the humans to be better and to live better.
Wow. So once again, MIT was ahead of the times.
Yeah, then Stanford created a program and others, and they are really good. They are very good. They are amazing universities. Harvard is fantastic.
How has work been affected by COVID in your case and the university?
Yeah, it's really difficult at the beginning, Alberto, because, you know, I have been telling you all the time about, oh, yes, we are trying to solve the biggest problems of the world. And we have a big problem now. And it was so frustrating at the very beginning. But I'm going to tell you, the first thing that happened, I was invited to speak in a conference in Guadalajara in February. And then I saw that the American government was closing the border with Canada. I thought, well, the next it's going to be Mexico. I need to take a flight back to my home really quickly because I don't want to stay with my family. And but when I came to, I landed in Boston, and then I went to the university, and I met with one of our professors, the head of the Environmental Sustainable Initiatives, John Fernandez. And I met with him in the Stata Center where artificial intelligence is. And we see each other, and we look at each other's eyes, and we say, wow, we are lucky. We are lucky that this pandemic is not bringing a lot of mortality rate. But the next problem with climate change is going to be really bad, because we are more concerned. We were very concerned already. More than a pandemic, we are very concerned about the climate change. And but then we decided to close the institution a week later, and it was really difficult because I was thinking, okay, what is MIT doing in testing? How can we do faster testing? How can we do a vaccine quickly? How can we create a cocktail of molecules to create medicine? What is MIT doing? And just trying to get more information from everyone was very difficult. I'm used to walk all over campus. When you were with me, you know, I know I know the tunnels and many corners of MIT, because I love to walk into the labs and talk to the faculty and to the students and the postdocs about what the research, because it's the only way I can learn about it. And I can also understand a little bit more what they are doing to try to then tell the people that I'm looking to partner with. And for me, it was very, very frustrating. And it has been very frustrating to don't be able to go into the lab. I have been there. I was there for in one of the labs to check some of the safety of the masks, protective equipment, and have been in other labs. But it is very frustrating, especially because many people couldn't access their labs, and some of our research didn't advance as fast as we were expecting because this physical limitation. And then the world is going to be more digital than ever, as we know, but we need the physical interaction. And it has been difficult. The other thing it has been good, it is that we can schedule meetings faster than before, because you don't lose time in commuting from one meeting to the other. And that also makes us busier. We are busier than ever.
Yeah.
Having more meetings worldwide through these digital applications, digital tools. But it is stressful because we still not been able to solve the problem that we are facing. And we also see new problems arising because this health crisis, not like economic. We are very worried about the tsunami of inequalities coming because the loss of productivity and job opportunities. And those are big concerns for us. And we are working very hard into many of these issues, but this pandemic is taking a lot of our energy away.
Have you been able to create new strategic partnerships during this time?
Yeah, we have very interesting ones. One that was announced a few weeks ago, I think it's with industries like 3M, doing the paper test much faster, 10-minute, 15-minute test for COVID. That's we are exploring with 3M about the manufacturing of these tests as fast as possible and deploy. We have developed a lot of new partnerships, strategic initiatives, especially in the clinical aspect, like trying to use artificial intelligence to advance actually something that was announced publicly. It's this using artificial intelligence to help with antibiotic resistance. And we were able to launch that very early in the pandemic. Yes, we have been doing some strategic initiatives with many, and now we are working in some strategic initiatives with the clothing industry, the retail industry, in how to identify the perfect humidity and the quality of the environment in an area to try to control the virus spreading. Through another professor that is fantastic, Lydia Burila from Civil and Environmental Engineering. But yes, we have been able to. We have not done a very big collaborations, like multi-million collaborations, but we have been doing a lot of small strategic initiatives that we hope they can be escalated soon for the benefit of many people.
And how are you perceiving the next, the future, the next year? I understand that not many of the students are coming back, some of the researchers. Tell us a little bit about it. How did the university come to that decision, and how do you see the future in a year?
Yes, the university has been very responsible. Even though we will love to have everyone on campus, we know that it's very risky. But we are opening a little bit. We are opening the campus to people that live on campus, We have been testing for the last 2 weeks. Everyone needs to be tested. Everyone that is in MIT needs to be tested twice a week. Twice a week. And we have the capacity. We have a fantastic partnership with the Broad Institute that is actually a spin-off from Harvard and MIT. And we are testing around we are testing around 1,200 people a day. I guess I don't have the numbers right now, but we are expecting all the students and people that live on campus, they can come to campus, but they need to be tested. The other thing is that undergrad students that are going to graduate this year, they are also welcome to come, or students that cannot go back to their countries or their cities or their houses because safety or security, they can come, of course. Our safety of our students and faculty is the priority. That means that we are going to have activities, regular activities, but at a very small scale. Like we are going to be working like with presence people in like a 10% capacity, but digital, we are all working from home or from wherever we are. In the case of next year, it's going to be complicated. We are improving a lot our system of classes. Like the professors have become more and more creative. They are very creative, but now more. I was talking with one of our professors that works in hurricanes and the urban risk lab is the director, Mijo Macerawicz. Is fantastic, and she told me that one of the problems is that they do a lot of prototyping, and the problem with prototyping is that you use some materials that could be dangerous, no? Like some resins or some products that could be dangerous. And what she decided is to work in prototype using soap, because soap you can access soap without any restriction, and you can do the prototypes of housing or equipment that you need to use in the city with soap, and then they are doing this in-house. They are doing the prototyping with soap instead of glue that you need the special tools to cut it or resins to paint it or something like that. But next year, I hope the vaccine is available. Is going to be identified soon, and I hope next year, the next academic year, we open back. But the digital is going to stay forever now. And
you do think that online classes are here to stay?
Yes. They are here to stay, but we all look for personal interaction.
Yeah.
And personal interaction is needed for humans to keep growing and keep being creative and innovative, because we like to tinker together. And that's the way that it's better, because with human interaction, you can have a lot of interdisciplinary teams of people like biologists with engineers and sociologists and political scientists and nuclear engineers and architects working together in a solution of an energy problem in the world. Like we cannot solve an energy problem just by science without the political scientists or without the architects or without the engineers. And we need everyone together working in solving the biggest problems. And digitally we can do a lot, but in one point we need to do the prototyping, we need to start building stuff, and then we need to try to escalate the manufacturing of stuff.
Yeah, and that's why you have so many labs, and labs need to be worked and taken care of.
Yes.
Well, Marco, thank you again for your time. I don't know if you have any last thought you would want to share with us. You are giving us hope that with the vaccine we will come back to a new normal. Hopefully it is soon, but it won't be before the next or the end of the year, I would think.
Yeah, I think first, this is what we have right now, and we need to live with what we have. And what I recommend everyone is to wear the mask. Please wear the mask, because we know that it's not politically motivated. The wearing the mask is scientifically motivated, because the virus can be more or less controlled. it's very important to wear a mask. It's very important to wash your hands. It's very important to keep your distance. But be super important to be optimistic and don't stop to do what you want to do. Don't wait for the world to be better. The world is going to be better if you make it better, and that's why you need to be acting. What I recommend everyone is to be optimistic. Don't stop what you are doing. Just stay safe and healthy, and then you can do whatever you want to do.
Thanks so much, Marco, for being with us today.
Thank you, Alberto. Thank you for what you do.